It's time for another episode of the Call of Duty News of the Week. So now that COD is more stale than yet another Benghazi report, Black Ops 3 dropped a new trailer for its latest DLC yesterday. The third installment, named Descent, which perfectly describes the current feelings that the community feels about COD in general, contains three new and one reskinned map, along with a new zombies experience. Considering that the trailer only shows off the zombies map without even a glimpse of the multiplayer maps aside from the graphic at the end, it just shows that Treyarch knows that zombies is the only reason to buy DLC for Call of Duty anyways, since the maps are just leftovers from development or ports from previous games. Please excuse the butchering of the pronunciation of the zombies map, as the only Russian words that I know are Suka Bliat from my days of not enjoying CSGO, and Nostrovia, which is a traditional toast when drinking beer. Of course I would know a beer word. Anyways, Gorod Krovi is the name of the zombies map, which is Russian for run around in circles at just out of arm's reach for hours on end. It takes place in Stalingrad during the 1940s, although you wouldn't be able to tell based on the futuristic weapons, robofied zombies, mechanical flying drones, medieval dragons, ancient-looking shields, and pre-war style dress for the skeletons. It seems that the success of Game of Thrones has influenced Treyarch with the taming of the dragons to breathe fire at dead things walking around. There's all new traps to build, and they'll be more effective than the ones in Home Alone. And of course, everyone's going apeshit over the PPSH, not because it's the only gun that actually fits the time period for which this zombies experience takes place, but since that gun was good in World at War Zombies, that obviously means it's amazing in the Black Ops 3 version of zombies. Speaking of things from other games working shittily in Black Ops 3, Raid from Black Ops 2 is back in this DLC map pack. In a bit of timeline gymnastics, the Raid house is reimagined as a futuristic take on an ancient Roman villa constructed by a modern-day billionaire. The map name Empire is updated to take advantage of the new movement system, since that worked out so well with Nuketown stylized with 3, Skyjack, and Verge. Another map is Cryogen, which is not to be confused with a better gaming engine of nearly the same name. The map is a compound which holds the world's most dangerous criminals in frozen isolation, which is still better treatment than the prisoners at Gitmo. But why would criminals be frozen? Don't you freeze shit just to reanimate it later like Ted Williams? It contains tons of tubes to run around in, so it's basically a colder version of Splash. Speaking of the cold, the next map is Berserk, which is set in a frozen Viking village. Given the name and setting, it takes its roots from a bad WWF wrestler gimmick in the 90s, but hopefully the map won't be yelling "Huss" at you constantly. You have to fight through a blizzard, which should be a joy for absolutely nobody. And the last map is Rumble, which takes the BattleBots concept to a whole new level. Unlike the robots in the zombies map, these are just for show, and this brings me back to the map Showtime from Ghost, which is a disaster for sound whoring based on the crowd noise. Treyarch really seems to be emphasizing the medium-sized maps in this DLC based on the description, since COD fans really don't want fast-paced action anyways. The DLC will be available July 12th on PS4 first, because Activision is spelled with a $sign. Oh, and no, sorry Season Pass owners, there's no weapons in this DLC. You gotta pony up for those supply drops from the black market. However, there is good news for Season Pass owners, as you get a free Gorod Krovi theme for your PS4 for all those times when you're not actually using a console for what it's meant for. Yeah, isn't it awesome to be a Season Pass owner? Now on to Infinite Warfare news. Game Informer did a nice article on the weaponry of the upcoming Call of Duty game with images and descriptions of the manufacturers of the weapons. They claim that Infinite Warfare features more weapons than any other title in a franchise, but this claim stinks like the weapon variants from Advanced Warfare. Can't wait for those supply pod openings in the new game. Anyways, there are 5 weapon makers named in the article. First, Kendall Ballistics, which is the most traditional manufacturer, shown here with their ho-hum M4-like design with tons of beepity-bops attached to it. Could this mean you could have more attachments in a Stage 5 Klinger? Next is Mashimo, which is a budget energy weapon supplier. There's a description of a weapon that's an SMG, which you could tilt to the side to turn into a shotgun with an energy blast, and some interesting ammo capabilities since both the magazine-fed and power cell ammunition-based weapon. This isn't the only frankenfuck of a weapon, as Fujiwara, another higher-end energy weapons manufacturer, produces the most out-there designs of the bunch, including this SMG, which you could use at mid to long range, but you could pull it apart into dual pistols for close-range fighting. But it doesn't say in the article if you'll be able to Humpty Dumpty and put the pistols back together again to create the SMG. That gun's design is eerily similar to the FMG9's, which, knowing Call of Duty's propensity to carry things over from previous iterations without alteration, will definitely need a nerf already. Last are the experimental weapons manufacturers EDI, of which you can see a sniper rifle or DMR here that seems to have an adjustable scope that switches between your normal 8 or 12 times scope and the iron sights for those of you shit scopers and ballerina twirly trick shotters to do some fancy schmancy things. The other is Atomic Dynamics, which is a crappy rhyming name. However, these guys are making things like railguns and charge weaponry, so they're going back to the roots of the engine that Call of Duty actually plays on. Quake 3. Apparently, these guns are going to be rooted in reality, not some sci-fi shit, which is supposed to calm the nerves of the hashtag RipCOD crowd. However, it just sounds fucking stupid when we see things in the E3 trailer like zero-gravity pocket nades, collapsible riot shields, and spider-esque seeker grenades, which crawl along the walls to eradicate their targets. Not to mention, as CEO Eric Hirschberg pointed out, those reveal trailer dislikes are only like that on YouTube, as the Facebook version of the trailer has 234,000 likes to 15,000 dislikes with 14 million views, or about half of the views, is YouTube. This basically confirms a dislike bot, so congratulations, Call of Duty community, on being a bunch of toxic little shits. Going back to E3 for a second, it was also announced there that a pre-purchase bonus for the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Legacy and other special editions is that PS4 players get to play the Modern Warfare Remastered campaign 1 month early on October 5th. Note that this is pre-purchase, which requires you to throw down the entire cost of the game, versus pre-order, which only requires a $5 minimum deposit. Considering that this is probably one of the only campaigns that Call of Duty fans actually give a shit about, it's a really sleazy way to making sure that Activision gets all of its money early. The progress will transfer on November 5th when the full game launches, but players who had early access to the campaign will be required to re-download the full final version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered included in those select editions of Infinite Warfare. Yay, more hoops to jump through! Lastly, some Activision related news, as the Steam Summer Sale is currently ongoing through the July 4th weekend, the actual Independence Day for all you Brexit supporters. All Call of Duty PC games are at least 50% off, with some being as much as 67% off. Call of Duties 1 through 6, that includes Modern Warfare 2, are $10, Black Ops through Ghosts are $20, and Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 are both $30, along with slashed prices on the massive collections, including a $200 COD collection for all games and DLCs up to and including Call of Duty Ghosts. I smell a new PC noob struggle coming soon. And finally, Activision, who is no stranger to filing DMCA takedowns, filed one against indie dev Trek Industries' Orion Prelude game for using assets from Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare without their permission. Images have been posted comparing the weapons of each game, with it even more clear than the Led Zeppelin vs. Taurus case that plagiarism did in fact occur. Come on, Trek Industries! You know that only Activision's own studios are allowed to get away with copy-pasting things from other Call of Duty games. The game has since been removed from Steam, eliciting angry forum posts from the developers, and this is definitely an ongoing saga that'll get uglier than Lindsay Lohan after a coke bender. Some of the stock assets include the M8, A7, and the BAL-27, which is so OP it's killing people in other games. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Call of Duty news of the week. Which side are you on with that last story? Even though I hate Activision, the evidence is pretty clear that Trek Industries is in the wrong. I've been the Schwantz 27, out like the UK and the EU. Until next time.